Am I the a-hole for distancing myself from my brother and female best friend after they started dating? So I, 27M, feel like I've ended up in one of those cliche situations you always see online, but it's very real for me right now. For background, I've always been extremely close to my younger brother Matt, 25M, and my best friend Claire, 26F. Claire and I met back in college, and she quickly became like family. She was at every holiday, family trip, birthday, you name it. Honestly, I always thought of her as a sister. Over the years, I noticed Matt and Claire were friendly, but I never thought much of it because, in my mind, they were in totally different worlds. Matt dated casually, never seriously, and Claire would sometimes vent to me about her relationships. She even used to call Matt, "your annoying little brother." Fast forward to last year, I had a big birthday party. Lots of drinking, dancing, and just general fun. That night, I noticed Matt and Claire talking a lot more than usual, but again, I brushed it off. A few weeks later, Claire sat me down and told me she and Matt had been hanging out. My gut told me what that meant, but I didn't press her because I honestly thought it might just fizzle out. Well, it didn't. By Christmas, they were officially dating. At first, I told myself to be supportive. I want them both to be happy. But I won't lie, it hit me weirdly hard. Suddenly, family dinners felt awkward. I come over and see them cuddled up on the couch. Group hangouts with Claire, which used to be our thing, now had Matt glued to her side. Even our inside jokes don't feel the same anymore because Matt's part of them now. It's not that I'm jealous in a romantic way. I don't have those kinds of feelings for Claire. It's more that I feel like I've lost both my best friend and my brother in one go. The dynamic completely changed, and I can't shake the feeling that I'm the third wheel in what used to be my most important friendships. So lately, I've been pulling back. I don't initiate hangouts with Claire as much, and I don't text Matt as often. They've both noticed and asked me about it, but I just said I've been busy with work. The truth is, it just feels too weird to be around them together, and I'm worried if I tell them that, I'll come off as selfish or bitter. Now I'm questioning myself. Am I being immature for needing distance while I adjust? Should I just suck it up and get over it because they're adults and allowed to date whoever they want? Or am I justified in feeling like my relationships with them both got taken away without me having any say? So, Reddit. Am I the a-hole for distancing myself from my brother and my best friend now that they're dating? After I posted here and got a mix of "you're valid, but try to communicate" responses, I decided maybe I should just keep my head down and let time smooth things out. But of course, life doesn't work like that. The first person to really bring it up was my mom. She pulled me aside after a Sunday dinner and asked, "Why are you being so cold to Matt and Claire?" She said she noticed I hardly talked to them during the meal and left early, when I usually help with dishes and hang out for board games after. I shrugged it off and said I was just tired. But she gave me that mom look, the one that sees right through you, and said, "Don't ruin family peace over this. If they make each other happy, let them." That stung, because I'm not trying to ruin anything. I just feel displaced. Then there's my dad, who has always been more blunt. He said something along the lines of, "Your brother finally found a good girl and you're sulking about it? Grow up." Which made me feel like absolute crap. Because again, I'm not mad they're together. I'm just struggling with how it changes things. But the real kicker came from Claire. She texted me late one night saying she missed us. She said she feels like she lost her best friend, and she doesn't understand why I'm pulling away. She even asked me point blank if I secretly had feelings for her all along, which honestly shocked me. I told her no, and I meant it. I don't see her like that, but I admitted it's been really hard for me to adjust to the new dynamic. Her reply was basically, "I get it, but I don't want to lose you. Can't you just be happy for us?" And then there's Matt. He's less direct, but I can feel the tension. He's been quieter around me, like he's waiting for me to make a snarky comment. The last time we hung out one-on-one, he said, "I know it's weird, but I love her, man. You're my brother, don't make me choose." Hearing that made my stomach drop. I don't want him to ever feel like he has to choose between me and Claire. Now I feel even more torn. On one hand, my feelings of awkwardness and loss are still very real. On the other, I can see that my pulling back is hurting both of them, and maybe even making me look jealous or controlling, which is the last thing I want. At this point, I'm stuck between two options. Keep my distance for my own sanity, or force myself to adjust, so I don't damage two of the most important relationships in my life. I knew things were heading toward a breaking point, but I didn't expect it to happen the way it did. A couple of weeks ago, my parents hosted a big family barbecue. Extended family, cousins, neighbors, the whole deal. Normally I'd be excited, because Claire would usually be right by my side helping me dodge nosy ants and making sarcastic comments about my dad's obsession with overcooking steaks. But this time was different. She showed up with Matt, and they were acting full-on couple Y. Holding hands, whispering, laughing at each other's jokes. Honestly, it felt like a spotlight was on them the whole time, even though it probably wasn't. I tried to avoid them by hanging out with my cousins, but eventually I ended up sitting at the same table. I was quiet, just eating, when one of my uncles made a comment like, "Well, look at that. Your best friend and your brother. That must be strange for you, huh?" I laughed it off, but Claire noticed. She leaned over and said softly, "See? This is why we wanted to be upfront about it. People will make it weird, but if you're okay, then it won't matter." Something about that set me off. I snapped a little and said, "It's not just other people making it weird. You two changed everything, and I don't know how to be okay with it." It got quiet real fast. Matt immediately bristled and said, "So what? We're not allowed to be happy because you feel left out?" I told him it wasn't about not wanting them happy, but about how I felt like I lost my place with both of them. Claire looked hurt and Matt looked angry. My mom jumped in and told us to knock it off, because we were making a scene, but honestly, the damage was done. After the barbecue, Claire texted me saying she didn't realize how much I resented them, and Matt hasn't spoken to me since. I tried to explain later that I don't resent them, I just feel like I'm grieving the old dynamic we had. But neither of them seemed to really hear me. Now I feel like I've backed myself into a corner. On one hand, I finally voiced what I was bottling up. On the other, it might have cost me the closeness I had with both of them. It's been a few weeks since the barbecue blow-up, and honestly, things still feel tense. Matt finally texted me after 2 weeks of radio silence. He basically said, "I love Claire. She's not just your best friend anymore. She's my girlfriend. If you can't accept that, I don't know what else to tell you." It wasn't cruel, but it was very final, like he's drawing a line in the sand. Claire reached out separately. She said she misses me, but she's also not going to apologize for being with someone she cares about. She told me she thought of me as family, and it hurts that I can't be happy for her. She said she'll always want me in her life, but she won't dim her relationship just to make me comfortable. That hit hard, because deep down I am happy they found someone who treats them right. It's just that the cost was my own closeness with both of them. I've been reflecting a lot, and I realize I was mourning a relationship dynamic that was never going to stay the same forever. People grow, families change, and yeah, sometimes your best friend falls in love with your brother. I didn't handle it well. Pulling away, bottling things up, then letting it all spill out at a family event. That was on me. So here's where I'm at. I've decided to give them space, but not in a bitter, sulky way, more like giving myself time to reset. I told both Matt and Claire I love them. I want them happy, but I also need to figure out how to be part of their lives without constantly feeling like a third wheel. They seem to understand, even if it's still awkward. I don't know if things will ever go back to normal, but maybe that's the point. Normal has changed, and I either adapt or I risk losing two people I care about permanently. Verdict: I don't think I'm an outright asshole, but I definitely handled it badly. If anything, I was an asshole to myself by not being honest sooner, and then to them by making it come out sideways. So yeah, maybe soft you're the asshole for how I handled it, but not the asshole for how I felt. If this story kept you hooked, give it a like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more.